Hi, I'm Phil Constantine, and on today's edition of Travels with Phil, we're going to eastern Pennsylvania, to the Flight 93 National Memorial. On September 11, 2001, Flight 93 crashed in eastern Pennsylvania, and it was the scene of a struggle between hijackers and the passengers and crew of this flight. Now, I've struggled for some time to decide how it would be appropriate for me to show you pictures of this area. And while there are lots and lots of material available, lots of photos available of the crash site itself and the debris that was obtained, evidence that was obtained, I've decided just to show you the area as it exists now and some pictures of the passengers themselves. The one exception to this is for the material from a friend of mine, Joe Little, who was one of the very first reporters at the scene. And so you will see just a few images from the crash site. On that fateful September the 11th, 2001, Flight 93 left from Newark, New Jersey en route to San Francisco. About 45 minutes into the flight, the terrorists took over control of the plane, and not much longer, they headed back toward the Washington, D.C. area. A little after that, the passengers tried to get back control of the plane, and that's when the plane went down. The outlines of the Flight 93 National Monument are centered around the site where the plane came down. And you can see by the map here there are numerous different spots out there in the monument itself, each one dedicated to a certain part of the memory. I will briefly go back to my friend Joe Little's report from at the scene on the day that it happened.
Was one of the first people on the scene. Joe.
My photographer and I were working nearby when we got the call. A plane crashed less than 4 miles from where we were. A resident 15 miles away videotaped the smoke.
Explosion shook the house clear over here.
We arrived on the scene about 30 minutes after the accident.
We got there so fast, I was able to walk right up to the crater.
Where a plane earlier today around 10 a.m. crashed with 45 people on board.
Nothing was there. No wreckage, no fire, only a row of burned trees. We thought it was a small plane at first. I was one of dozens of reporters who would descend on the FBI and Pennsylvania State Police anytime they'd be willing to talk. The crash itself was devastating.
And visitors began adding makeshift memorials almost immediately. Lots of American flags, lots of things about 93, occasionally something about Let's Roll. And so the park system decided to build a building out there, and this is how it developed. This is the area right up by the visitor center where you can see something that looks like a wall. And then there's a stretching part, or a part here, which looks just like a flight path coming in between two sections of the wall, and that goes out to the actual scene of the crash itself. The architect of Flight 93 National Memorial calls his design both severe and surreal. It is a memorial of this place, its textures and colors reflecting the natural forms of the countryside. The memorial is quiet and reflective. Here visitors may learn the story of Flight 93, speak with a ranger or volunteer ambassador, or recall their own memories of that day. A small shelter provides covered gathering space. The concrete walls are textured to resemble the hand-hewn wooden beams of the region's barns and cabins and evoke the hemlock trees at the crash site. In 2001, fencing was placed to protect the debris field. Today, this path and sloping black wall follow the same fence line. It marks the edge of the final resting place of the 40 passengers and crew of Flight 93. The shiny chips in the sloping wall remind us of the coal mine from this land. The joints in the wall and in the walkway, some straight lines, some angled, remind us of the trunks and branches of the hemlocks that absorbed the impact of the crash. The black benches are tapered, a shape reminiscent of airplane wings. A walk of 1/4 mile leads to the Wall of Names. The wall is constructed on the flight path, the route the plane traveled in its final moments. Memorial. This is the visitor center up here. Almost looks like a flight entryway. long line of marble, names of individuals. Example, there's... On closer look, each name is on a separate, uniquely veined piece of marble. The 40 passengers and crews, strangers whose lives intersected but for just a brief period, are represented as both individuals and as a group that acted collectively, preventing a greater loss to our nation. The architect designed this rugged gate to remind visitors of the strength and resolve of the passengers and crew. The impact site, excavated during the investigation and then backfilled by the coroner, is now marked with a 17-ton sandstone boulder as of 2011. The memorial is a place where we can honor the passengers and crews of Flight 93 and learn about their act of courage. A common field one day, a field of honor forever. And sometime after I visited there, they added the Tower of Voices, and these are wind chimes, mimicking the sound of laughter in a way. You'll notice the wings that strike the noise are wings. They look like airplane wings. And to finish this video, pictures of the passengers and crew of Flight 93. The Flight 93 Memorial in Pennsylvania. From chaos to courage, a common field one day, a field of honor forever. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please feel free to make comments below as long as the language is family friendly. And if you like this video, please click on the thumbs up button below. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the circle with my picture in it in the lower right-hand corner of the video. The arrow's pointing at it now. And once you have subscribed, you can be notified of when I have a new video posted by clicking on the bell icon in the description field below the video. Thanks again for watching.